Welcome to the law offices of Chris M. Ingram's Immigration Podcast. Today, we are excited to present the final part of our four-part series on the O-1B visa. The O-1B visa is for senior professionals who work in the entertainment industry. So let's dive in. Before we get started, we'd like to thank attorney Chris M. Ingram and his team who have worked very hard in researching and preparing the material for this podcast. So let's get started. So you've been on this pretty fascinating journey with us, really exploring the ins and outs of the O-1B visa. This is all about extraordinary talent in the arts and entertainment fields. In our previous deep dives, we've thoroughly unpacked the visa's core purpose, talked about the substantial benefits, and meticulously detailed all 6 qualification categories. We gave practical examples and even kicked off our case studies with Sophia, laying the groundwork for understanding what extraordinary truly means, in the eyes of U.S. immigration.
Indeed. And this deep dive is really all about bringing that legal research to life. It's about transforming those sometimes complex rules into, let's say, tangible pathways. Today, we're not just concluding our series of compelling case studies. We're aiming to give you a direct look at how really diverse artists, from emerging talents to truly seasoned veterans, successfully navigated the O-1B requirements. We'll really delve into their specific strategies, the evidence they meticulously compiled. It is quite a process. Then we'll wrap up with hopefully some empowering insights and actionable next steps for you, regardless of where you are in your artistic career. This truly connects the what the rules to the how and why. It shows you the practical application of the knowledge we've shared and hopefully helps you visualize your own journey.
Okay, great. Let's unpack this then with some fresh perspectives, drawing directly from our legal team's expensive research into, successful O-1B petitions. We're going to begin with a brilliant young talent whose story, I think, really challenges some, maybe, common assumptions about this visa. Let's look at Jamal Thompson. He's a 24-year-old music composition graduate from Berkeley. Now, when we think of extraordinary ability, I suspect many assume it means, decades of experience or a whole string of major awards. What makes Jamal's story particularly insightful and frankly encouraging for someone just starting out, especially when thinking about something as significant as an O-1B visa so early in their career?
Yeah, that's a great point. What's truly fascinating about Jamal and something our team's research consistently highlights is how he, despite being a recent graduate, though from a musical family, which probably helped, he managed to fuse jazz with electronic elements in such an innovative way. His approach wasn't just, musically interesting. It was a deliberate act of carving out a niche of undeniable originality that garnered industry attention much faster than perhaps traditional paths might have allowed.
Right.
His journey really reveals a powerful truth for emerging artists. Extraordinary isn't solely about the quantity of years you've put in. It's much more about the quality and innovation of your work, even when it's fresh out of the gate. He successfully met 3 critical O-1B categories through these innovative projects, proving that, a fresh perspective and quantifiable early successes can absolutely pave the way for this visa.
Okay.
It really challenges that common assumption that you need a long track record. Sometimes a truly unique, impactful sound can accelerate your journey significantly.
That's a crucial distinction, a very important point. So what does this all mean for his O-1B journey specifically? Which categories did he leverage to build such a compelling case so early on, according to our attorney's study?
Right. So our researchers detail how Jamal met Category 1. Now, that requires you to be a lead participant in distinguished productions or events, essentially demonstrating you played a pivotal, leading role in projects that are, highly regarded within your field. Jamal didn't just contribute to projects, he was central to their creation and execution. That's key.
Central, okay.
Specifically, he composed and scored for festival shorts. And these weren't just any shorts. The fact they were selected for and premiered at competitive and well-regarded film festivals, think Sundance or Tribeca level, even if not named here, that elevates their distinguished status significantly. For evidence, we typically look for things like official festival programs listing his credits, comprehensive credit lists from the production itself, and crucially, strong testimonials from directors or producers explicitly stating his indispensable primary role.
That's right, indispensable.
Beyond that, he led sound design projects for various productions, which again showed direct and significant creative leadership. It's not about just being in a production. It's about proving you were indispensable to its artistic vision and success.
That's a very clear demonstration of leadership right there.
Yeah.
But okay, getting significant critical reviews as an emerging artist, that can feel like a huge hurdle. How did he manage to show significant recognition through Category 2? That often seems like a challenge for anyone not already, a household name.
Yeah, it definitely can be. For Category 2, which, as you said, focuses on published material about you in major newspapers, trade journals, or other significant publications, attorney Chris Ingram's research points to Billboard Emerging Artist features on his EP.
Billboard. Wow.
Yes, exactly. That's incredibly significant and really a strategic win for his case.
Yeah.
It's not just a casual mention in some local blog, It illustrates critical acclaim from Billboard, a major, highly respected publication in the music industry. Billboard's decision to feature him as an emerging artist means they saw, a truly unique and promising talent. They recognized his innovative sound and potential impact. This demonstrates that even for an artist at the very beginning of their career, the quality, the reach, and the authority of the publications reviewing your work are paramount.
Quality and reach, okay.
Right. It's about securing that spotlight in reputable outlets that truly matter within your field. Showing your work is not just noticed, but critically lauded at a high level. For documentation, we need the full articles, properly cited with translations if needed, clearly showing the focus on Jamal and his work.
That's really interesting, showing that even early work can gain significant traction and critical validation if it's truly, groundbreaking. And what about quantifiable success? That can sometimes be incredibly hard to define for creative work, especially beyond just, say, ticket sales or album numbers. How did Jamal prove that for Category 4?
Absolutely. That's another common question. For Category 4 successes, which involves evidence of major commercial or critically acclaimed successes, our legal team's study shows he had streaming hits. We're talking over 5 million plays.
5 million? That's substantial.
It is. And these weren't just personal achievements logged somewhere. They were specifically reported in relevant trade publications. That adds another layer of objective validation. 5 million plays is a very direct, very quantifiable metric of his impact and popularity. It demonstrates a significant audience reach, particularly in the digital sphere. And the fact that these high streaming numbers were picked up and reported by industry-specific trade publications, like Music Business Worldwide or perhaps Variety, that adds credibility because it signals his independent releases were making waves, garnering attention within the industry itself.
That makes sense.
This really encourages young composers to release independently and to meticulously track and use these quantifiable metrics to prove their impact. It showcases how digital footprints, online engagement, verifiable streaming data, these are increasingly valid and powerful pieces of evidence today. It's about understanding that success isn't just traditional album sales anymore. It's about reach, engagement, and recognized commercial viability in, new media.
Can you elaborate a bit more on Jamal's overall journey as detailed by our attorneys? It sounds like there's a fascinating narrative of growth there, even in just a few short years.
Yes, definitely. Our team's research explains that Jamal's family jams, just playing music with family, were actually the initial inspiration for his hybrid sound. It gave him a foundational and authentic artistic core. This deeply personal origin story is, I think, key to understanding his unique artistic voice. It led to diverse collaborations at Berklee, where he refined his innovative approach, blending genres in new, exciting ways that went beyond simple mashups. His festival scores didn't just play, they actually won sound awards. That's specific, quantifiable recognition of his technical and artistic excellence.
Okay, actual awards.
Exactly. And reviews across various platforms beyond just Billboard consistently praised his originality, highlighting his unique voice and contributions to music. Beyond the impressive streaming numbers, his successes included lucrative sync licenses for advertisements. That's a powerful commercial validation.
Sync licenses, right, for ads.
Yes. It meant his music was chosen for, say, national ad campaigns, showing its commercial value and reach beyond typical music consumption. Jamal actively navigated complex genre blends, not shying away from experimentation, really pushing boundaries, and crucially, he masterfully used social media to generate buzz around his work, demonstrating an understanding of modern audience engagement and self-promotion.
That's important too.
Absolutely. This comprehensive approach demonstrates how a cohesive artistic narrative, showcasing both creative innovation and commercial viability, strengthens the overall O1B application. It proves extraordinary ability from multiple angles, even at a young age.
Attorney Chris M. Ingram reminds us that real-world case studies illustrate how the O1B categories come together to form a vivid portrait of artistic excellence, guiding both pros and newcomers toward qualification. Jamal's story certainly paints that picture vividly for an emerging talent. His journey really shows us that youth and innovation can be powerful engines for an O1B.
Feeling lost in a maze of visa types and paperwork? Don't know where to turn? We've got your back. With clear answers and real help, we'll guide you every step of the way. Let's navigate it together. Your journey starts today.
Hello, you must be Clara. Welcome to the law office of Chris M. Ingram.
Finally, I found a law firm that will help me achieve my American dream.
At this law firm, you are important to us. That's why we will be with you every step of the way. So join us at the office of Chris M. Ingram.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Moving from an emerging artist like Jamal to a seasoned veteran with decades of experience, their path might seem entirely different, right?
Completely different, yeah.
Let's turn our attention to Elena Costas. She's 50, has spent 25 years in sculpture, exploring identity through installations. Now, for seasoned professionals who might think, oh, my career path is too established, or maybe it's too niche, or my past achievements are too far behind me for something like this, what can they learn from Elena's remarkable journey based on our legal team's study?
Elena's narrative, as detailed by her researchers, isn't just a testament to artistic longevity. It's really a masterclass in evolving influence and sustained excellence. You have to imagine starting small, maybe exhibiting in local galleries, and then, over 25 years, meticulously growing to global recognition, shaping how we think about identity through sculpture. That's significant. Her journey demonstrates a sustained trajectory of excellence and increasing impact.
Sustained, yeah.
Our legal team's research indicates she met an impressive 5 out of the 6 O1B categories. That showcases how a long, impactful career can build incredibly comprehensive evidence for an O1B petition. Her story is a testament to the fact that longevity, coupled with continued relevance and innovation in one's field, are incredibly powerful indicators of extraordinary ability. It really reminds you to never stop documenting your journey, because every step builds on the last.
5 categories, that's truly impressive, speaks to the incredible depth of her career. Let's break those down. How does she demonstrate her leadership in exhibitions, specifically for Category 1, lead participant?
Right. For Category 1, focusing on being a lead participant in distinguished productions or events, Elena held solo shows at prestigious venues. The example given is the Tate Modern.
The Tate Modern, okay, big name.
Exactly. The Tate Modern isn't just a museum, it's an internationally renowned institution, a global beacon of modern and contemporary art. Holding a solo exhibition there isn't just another show. It's an undeniable marker of her significant standing and the major impact of her work on a global stage. This type of evidence requires things like official exhibition invitations, signed contracts, installation photos, catalogs, or brochures from the institution prominently featuring her as the solo artist. It's an undisputed marker of her extraordinary ability and widespread recognition within the highest echelons of the art world. It shows she's a driving force, not just a contributor.
And what kind of critical attention did she garner, beyond just general praise, I mean? Category 2 requires significant critical reviews, which, as you said, can be hard to sustain over a long career.
Yeah, sustained critical attention is key. For Category 2, reviews, her portfolio included in-depth art forum profiles, specifically analyzing her thematic explorations.
Art forum, another major one.
Absolutely. Art forum is one of the most authoritative and intellectually rigorous art publications globally. This wasn't just a brief mention or a superficial review. It was sustained, in-depth critical analysis of her artistic depth, her conceptual power, her influence on contemporary art. This shows prolonged, high-level critical attention that dissects the very core of her artistic contribution, validating her as a thought leader in her field.
Right.
For documentation, we'd meticulously collect full articles, ensuring they specifically discuss her unique artistic contributions and are published in widely circulated authoritative art journals or major newspapers with dedicated art sections. The consistency and intellectual rigor of these reviews over her career were absolutely key.
That level of consistent critical engagement.
Yeah.
That's a powerful indicator of sustained impact. What about her critical roles, beyond just exhibiting her own work? Category 3 looks for critical roles in organizations or productions. How did that apply here?
Our attorney study highlights her commissions for renowned institutions like the Guggenheim for Category 3 critical roles. Now, these are not just invitations to exhibit existing work.
Okay, different.
Yes, they are direct commissions where she was specifically tasked with creating new, often site-specific pieces for these iconic museums. Being commissioned by the Guggenheim means she was trusted to produce work that would be a significant, often permanent part of their collection or a major, highly anticipated exhibit. This indicates her as a key player in significant artistic projects that actively shape cultural landscapes, demonstrating her unparalleled influence and indispensable expertise. Evidence here would include signed commission contracts, press releases announcing the commission, documentation of the completed works within these institutions. It's about proving that her expertise was specifically sought out to create something pivotal.
And financial success. Always a strong, objective indicator of market value and demand for an artist's work. How did she demonstrate that for Category 4?
Indeed, Category 4 successes was evidenced by auction sales exceeding $1 million.
Wow, okay. Over $1 million.
Yes. This provides a clear, highly quantifiable measure of the commercial success and substantial market value of her work. Achieving sales of that magnitude in a competitive art market speaks volumes about the demand for her pieces and her established status as a highly collectible, valuable artist. It's a direct reflection of her extraordinary standing in the art world, where her work commands top prices. For this category, we'd gather official auction records, sales receipts, appraisals from reputable galleries or art market analysts. It's about showing her art isn't just critically acclaimed, but also holds significant commercial value.
Finally, how does she demonstrate recognition beyond sales and reviews? Specifically for Category 5 recognition, this category often hinges on more qualitative evidence, right?
That's right, it often does. For Category 5, recognition for achievements, she received letters from prominent curators. Now, these letters from highly influential figures in her field, people who shape exhibitions, influence collections, often define artistic trends for institutions globally. They are vital attestations of her extraordinary ability and profound impact.
So not just generic recommendations.
Definitely not. They come directly from those at the pinnacle of defining artistic merit, people who can authoritatively speak to her unique contributions and standing. It's about peer and institutional recognition, showing her work has been singled out for its exceptional quality and influence by those who truly matter in her niche. We always advise clients to seek out letters from individuals with established authority and broad recognition in their field, detailing specific examples of the artist's extraordinary contributions. Specificity is key.
Can you expand a bit on Elena's artistic journey as detailed by our legal team? It truly sounds like a masterclass in career progression and, well, meticulous documentation.
It really is. Our team's research explains that Elena's early works in Greece were the foundational bedrock of her artistic identity, imbued with personal and cultural narratives. These early explorations then led to crucial international residencies. Those residencies broadened her perspective, allowed her to experiment with new materials, and significantly expanded her professional network.
Right. Those connections are vital.
Absolutely. Her Tate shows consistently drew large crowds, indicating not just critical appeal, but also significant public engagement and popularity, a powerful dual validation that resonates strongly with adjudicators. Critical reviews across major publications, beyond just Artforum, consistently analyze the profound depth and cultural significance of her themes, highlighting her intellectual and emotional impact. Her commissions often involve challenging site-specific pieces, pushing the boundaries of her craft, demonstrating her unique problem-solving abilities and adaptability as an artist. Beyond the impressive $1 million in total auction sales, she actually achieved record-breaking figures for certain individual pieces at major auctions, further solidifying her top-tier market value.
Record-breaking. Okay.
Yeah. And the recognition from peers and fellow artists, often evidenced through invitations to speak at conferences, serve on panels, or collaborate on projects, further affirmed her immense influence. It proves she was recognized not just by critics and institutions, but also by those who walk in her artistic footsteps and look to her as a leader. Elena's path strongly inspires you to meticulously document your artistic growth and evolution over time, because every step, every piece of recognition, every critical mention contributes to that powerful, irrefutable narrative of extraordinary ability. This sustained approach is just crucial.
It's truly inspiring to see how a long, consistent career can build such an irrefutable case. Now let's transition again, another recent graduate, but this time in the motion picture and television realm. A very different, incredibly competitive landscape compared to music or fine art.
Very different, yes.
Let's talk about Raj Patel. He's 27, fresh from drama school, specialized in diverse roles, and quickly made a name for himself. His story is particularly compelling because, well, the acting world is notoriously difficult to break into, let alone achieve extraordinary status so quickly. How does his journey, according to our legal team's research, offer hope and maybe a clear roadmap for aspiring actors just beginning to carve out their niche in this highly competitive industry?
They said my EB1 needed more categories. I can't even dock. What am I gonna do?
I need to find the right lawyer that can navigate me through this crisis. I need my EB1 so my new life can begin. These lawyers are amazing. They are walking me through every questions, making sure I don't miss a thing.
Thanks to the law offices of Chris M. Ingram, I'm cleared to land. But my career is gonna take off.
Houston. He got his visa.
Need help with your visa? Book your free consultation now at www.breakthroughusa.com and let us take care of you.
Raj's journey from stage to screen, as captured by our attorneys, really demonstrates a remarkably quick rise to prominence. It seems fueled by strategic choices and, frankly, undeniable talent. Even as a recent graduate, his early successes in pilot projects and independent films built significant and compelling evidence for his O1B case. This shows that quality and strategic project selection, even early in a career, can be incredibly compelling.
Quality over quantity, perhaps.
Exactly. It's not about how long you've been acting, but how impactful and recognized your performances are, even if they are in indie productions or pilots. His story serves as a powerful reminder that seizing early, high-quality opportunities can swiftly elevate your profile. For actors, this often means leveraging every role, no matter how small it seems initially, into a springboard for greater recognition and, crucially, documentation.
That's incredibly encouraging for those starting out in such a tough industry. Which specific O1B categories did Raj manage to meet so effectively right out of drama school, allowing him to quickly build this robust O1B petition?
Our researchers indicate he met 4 categories. For Category 1, lead in productions, he starred in indie films that premiered at prestigious festivals like Cannes.
Okay, that's major recognition.
Huge. Cannes, as you know, is one of the most revered and influential film festivals globally. Having a starring, credited role in a film that gains acceptance and premieres there signifies leading roles in productions that achieved significant international recognition. It highlights that his talent was central to films that broke through the noise and achieved critical acclaim on a global stage.
Right.
The kind of evidence needed here would be official festival selections, screen credits, contracts showing his lead role, and maybe director's statements confirming his pivotal contribution to the artistic integrity of the film. It's about demonstrating he was the central artistic force, not just a supporting player.
And how did the critics respond to his performances? Category 2 is all about critical reviews. For an emerging actor, getting significant positive reviews can really be a game changer.
Absolutely. For Category 2 reviews, his team meticulously gathered positive coverage from IndieWire on his performances. IndieWire is a highly respected online publication, particularly known for its focus on independent cinema and for being a key voice in film criticism.
Okay, IndieWire. Respected source.
Very much so. The positive coverage wasn't just a casual mention. It specifically highlighted the nuance, the emotional depth, the strength of his acting. It demonstrated his performances resonated deeply with professional critics who have significant reach and influence in the industry. This clearly shows significant critical attention in a widely read, respected industry publication, validating his skill as an actor at a crucial stage in his career. We'd look for detailed reviews analyzing his specific contributions, not just generic film reviews where he might be mentioned in passing.
What about his critical roles beyond just leading in independent films? Category 3 looks for critical roles in organizations or productions. This can sometimes be less obvious for actors, maybe?
It can seem that way, but for Raj, he was identified as a key player in a pilot for a major streaming platform. Now, being key in a pilot is incredibly significant.
Why is that so significant?
Well, pilots are often massive investments, high-stakes projects for studios looking to greenlight an entire series. For him to be considered an indispensable part of such a project, even if it was just the pilot, signifies his contributions were seen as crucial for the show's potential future success. This indicates his value to significant, commercially viable productions, even if they're still in development. Evidence here would include contracts detailing his role, letters from producers or network execs confirming his essential contribution to the pilot's artistic and commercial viability, and any press around the pilot highlighting his involvement. It underscores that his specific talent was essential to the creation and potential of a major production.
And an interesting one for someone starting out, salary. Category 6, high salary, can be a surprisingly strong indicator of extraordinary ability, especially for an actor. How did Raj demonstrate that, especially when many emerging actors struggled just to make a consistent living?
Yes, it's a powerful one. For Category 6, high salary or other remuneration, he commanded above-scale pay for his pilot roles. This is a very direct indicator of extraordinary ability.
Above scale, meaning more than the standard union rate.
Exactly. Above scale means he was paid more than the minimum union rates for actors, like SAG-AFTRA rates in the US, which is already a baseline for professional actors. The fact that producers and studios were willing to pay him a premium, even at an early stage in his career, clearly indicates his talent was in high demand and valued significantly higher than the standard. It's a powerful, objective measure that his skills were seen as exceptional and worth a premium. Documentation would involve detailed contracts and pay stubs, clearly showing the amounts paid, along with evidence of what the scale pay would have been for comparison. It removes the subjectivity and presents concrete financial proof of his extraordinary market value.
Can you provide more detail on Raj's path as documented by our legal team? Give us a more holistic view of his early rise, the unique element that contributed to his O1B success.
Sure. Our team's research elaborates that Raj's cultural heritage profoundly informed his authentic portrayals. It brought a unique depth and richness to his roles that truly set him apart in the industry. This isn't just about his background, it's about how he leveraged it to create nuanced, compelling characters that resonated. His Cannes debut generated substantial industry buzz, creating a palpable excitement around his presence and potential, which, can translate into future opportunities. Reviews consistently highlighted his nuanced performances, often singling out his ability to convey complex emotions and subtleties with remarkable ease for someone so young. What's particularly noteworthy, I think, is that his roles often involved significant improvisation. That showcases remarkable versatility and quick thinking on set qualities, highly valued in dynamic, fast-paced acting environments.
Improvisation, right.
It shows adaptability. Exactly. This ability to adapt and contribute spontaneously is often a hallmark of truly extraordinary talent. And the fact that his salary reflected demand, even for pilot projects, is a testament to his perceived value and the industry's belief in his burgeoning star power. Raj's story, as our legal team documented, strongly encourages you to actively pursue auditions, even for independent or pilot projects, and to engage in strategic networking to build your profile and secure these critical opportunities that can quickly build your case for an O1B. It's about being proactive and understanding the evolving landscape of media production.
It's just fascinating how diverse these paths are, covering different disciplines like music, visual arts, acting, and spanning across various career stages. So what does this all mean when we look at these case studies collectively? What common threads emerge from our legal team's study that can guide any artist pursuing the O1B visa?
Yeah, that's the key question, isn't it? If we connect this to the bigger picture, these studies, including Sophia from our previous deep dive, highlight incredible versatility. They demonstrate there isn't one single right way to qualify for the O1B. Sophia, the veteran filmmaker, and Elena, the experienced sculptor, they showcase the depth and accumulated achievements of an established career. They demonstrate how consistent, high-level work over many years builds an undeniable body of evidence, often across multiple categories, providing a robust, undeniable case.
Right, the long game.
Exactly. On the other hand, you have Jamal, the music innovator, and Raj, the rising actor. They proved that early excellence, marked by innovation, critical buzz, quantifiable impact, that's equally valid and compelling for O1B qualification. Their stories show that being extraordinary isn't limited by age or length of career. It's about the undeniable quality and demonstrable impact of your contributions to the arts. It's about how you strategically position and document that impact. So the common thread, unequivocally supported by our team's research across all these successful petitions, is the necessity of meeting at least 3 categories. And those categories must always be tied to significant acclaim or recognition within your field.
At least 3 tied to recognition.
Precisely. It's not just about ticking boxes. It's about demonstrating a pattern of excellence and impact that is acknowledged and celebrated by industry professionals, critics, or the public. What's important here is the interplay between the categories. For example, if you claim a lead role in a production, that production should ideally have also received critical reviews or achieved commercial success. This creates a synergistic effect that strengthens your overall narrative. Choosing the 3 strongest categories that tell the most compelling story of your extraordinary ability is a critical strategic decision.
Okay, the synergy matters.
It really does. Our attorneys also point out that some applicants, especially those with truly unique contributions or highly specialized niches that might not neatly fit into the traditional 6 categories, successfully used comparable evidence. This offers crucial flexibility.
Comparable evidence, how does that work?
Well, let's say you're a groundbreaking VR artist, and traditional reviews in major newspapers are scarce for your niche. Comparable evidence might include things like authoritative endorsements from leading figures in the immersive art space, significant funding or grants from tech innovation funds, or invitations to speak at major VR conferences. It could also involve unique forms of recognition within your specialized community that demonstrate your extraordinary ability, even if they don't perfectly map to the 6 listed categories.
I see.
The key is to prove that this comparable evidence is truly indicative of extraordinary achievement and is widely recognized as such within your specific field. This means providing context and often expert letters explaining why this comparable evidence is so significant. It offers a pathway for those pushing boundaries in non-traditional ways.
As we start to conclude this really in-depth look at the O-1B visa, I want to leave you, our listeners, with not just a summary, but with actionable encouragement and key lessons from our entire exploration. This isn't just about getting a visa document. It's really a strategic bridge to amplifying your artistic voice and career opportunities here in the U.S. It's about building a future where your creativity can truly flourish on an international stage, accessing new markets, collaborators, and audiences.
Exactly. Whether you're a seasoned artist reflecting on a lifetime of creations, like Elena, or a veteran filmmaker like Sophia, or maybe a recent graduate eager to break into the scene like Jamal or Raj.
Rome. 20,000 spectators, 1 epic battle, 2 warriors, 1 destiny. But before they can fight for glory, they must face the real challenge, getting their visa approved.
If you want to enter, show me your visa.
They should have went to the law offices of Chris M. Ingram. They are very good.
Yes, I've heard the same. They handled my visa in no time.
Off to the Lions pit.
Come with me, boys. It's dinner time.
Because even legends need the offices of Chris M. Ingram.
Are you looking for a visa? Why don't you get your free consultation on the Breakthrough website? We're with you every step of the way.
The O-1B is within reach. We've covered the essentials of extraordinary ability and achievement, dissected the 6 categories with practical examples, and brought them to life through these case studies that mirror real journeys our legal team has guided. We've seen how diverse paths can lead to success, and now it's about applying these lessons to your own unique story, meticulously documenting your artistic journey.
So what are the absolute core takeaways for our listeners based on attorney Chris Ingram's comprehensive research? Where should they begin, or what should be their primary focus right now?
Okay, first and foremost, self-assessment is your absolute foundation. You need to review those O-1B categories honestly, critically, against your own body of work, maybe even invite trusted mentors or peers to give you an objective appraisal.
Get an outside perspective.
Yes. Our attorneys emphasize, starting today, to compile evidence, meticulously gather everything. Show reels, performance footage, original compositions, critical reviews, media mentions, official contracts, awards, even detailed archives of your creative process. This isn't a last-minute scramble. It's an ongoing strategic process of documenting your artistic life. The more organized, comprehensive, and well-contextualized your evidence is, the stronger your petition will be. Think of it as building your artistic autobiography, but, with a legal purpose.
Okay, start documenting now.
Absolutely. Now, for seasoned professionals, our team's research advises you to strategically emphasize your legacy. Don't just present your current achievements. Show the compelling progression. How did your early works, maybe foundational pieces or initial local successes, organically lead to your current masterpieces or global recognition? Demonstrate that sustained evolution and increasing impact throughout your career. It's about painting a picture of continuous growth, escalating influence, a consistent pattern of extraordinary contribution over time. Highlighting how your work has influenced others or contributed to the broader cultural landscape over decades can be incredibly powerful.
Show the narrative arc.
Precisely. For recent graduates, like Jamal and Raj, highlight your spark, your fresh visions, innovative approaches. The unique contemporary voice you bring are significant assets in the evolving arts landscape. The industry is constantly looking for new voices and groundbreaking ideas. Your unique perspective, early critical acclaim, quantifiable impact, even if it's from independent projects or digital platforms, that can be incredibly powerful. Don't undervalue your contemporary contributions and how they're shaping the future of your art form. It's about demonstrating undeniable talent and impact, regardless of how long you've been practicing.
Right, focus on innovation and impact.
And remember, comparable evidence offers crucial flexibility, as our legal team has found in their studies. If one of the traditional categories doesn't perfectly fit your unique situation, look for alternative forms of recognition or proof of extraordinary ability. Don't overlook your digital footprints, viral art, significant streaming metrics, massive social media engagement, especially if tied to critical acclaim or commercial ventures, participation in cutting-edge digital exhibitions. These can be powerful, quantifiable indicators of impact and recognition in today's world, provided you can contextualize their significance for adjudicators.
Contextualize, okay.
Yeah. The landscape of artistic success is evolving, and so too are the ways to demonstrate it for the O1B. Think broadly about how your work reaches and influences people today.
Beyond the individual pieces of evidence, what common threads do our attorneys see in truly successful O1B applications? What's that overarching narrative that really convinces adjudicators someone is extraordinary?
The overwhelming commonality, as highlighted by our researchers, is narrative cohesion. Your application isn't just a random collection of documents. It has to be a story. You need to link all your MET categories to a central theme or overarching narrative about your extraordinary ability. Think about weaving a compelling story around concepts like cultural storytelling or innovative expression in a niche genre, groundbreaking technique, maybe pioneering an artistic movement. This consistent thread makes your achievements more impactful and memorable. It transforms a checklist into a vivid portrait of your unique genius.
So connect the dots.
Exactly. Avoid silos in your application where each piece of evidence just stands alone. Instead, show the interplay, the synergy between your achievements. Explicitly demonstrate, for example, how positive reviews stem directly from your lead roles in significant productions, or how your high earnings are a direct result of the critical acclaim and public demand for your unique artistic vision. It's about building a compelling, interconnected story where each element reinforces the others, painting a holistic portrait of extraordinary talent that is, hopefully, undeniable. This integrated approach allows the adjudicator to see not just what you've done, but why it matters and how it all connects to your extraordinary standing. Furthermore, in 2025's landscape, our legal team's study indicates that aligning your work with current U.S. trends, things like promoting diversity and inclusion in film, exploring sustainable arts practices, leveraging emerging technologies in art, contributing to cross-cultural understanding that can resonate strongly with adjudicators. While it's not a strict requirement for the O1B, demonstrating your work's relevance to contemporary societal and artistic conversations can add significant weight. It shows you are not just an extraordinary artist, but one whose work contributes meaningfully to the cultural fabric and current dialogues. It adds a layer of broader significance.
What are some of the most common challenges applicants face? And perhaps more importantly, how can they overcome them, according to Chris's extensive research and experience?
Well, our attorneys frequently see challenges with sparse documentation, especially for artists who maybe haven't diligently archived their work or recognition over the years. Another common hurdle is difficulty in quantifying success in highly subjective fields. Think performance art, conceptual sculpture, niche art forms where traditional metrics just don't apply easily.
Right, the subjective fields.
Exactly. The key is to counter this with diversity and quality of evidence over mere quantity. A few very strong, impactful pieces of evidence, well contextualized and explained, are far better than many weak or tangential ones. It's about demonstrating impact, not just volume. For example, if you don't have many mainstream reviews, perhaps you have numerous academic papers analyzing your work, or strong, specific letters from renowned art historians discussing your unique contribution. Think outside the box sometimes.
Quality over quantity. Makes sense.
This raises an important question, though. When should you engage with legal experts? Our team highly recommends consulting experts early in the process, ideally before you even start actively compiling everything.
Get advice early on.
Definitely. Our firm specializes in crafting petitions that not just meet but exceed requirements, drawing on over 20 years of approvals in this complex area. Early consultation can make a significant difference. It helps you identify overlooked strengths, shore up weaknesses, and present your case in the most compelling light possible right from the outset. We can guide you on what specific types of evidence are most impactful for your unique situation and how to present it effectively. Trying to navigate the complexities of O1B immigration law without expert guidance, well, it can be a costly and time-consuming endeavor, frankly.
Attorney Chris M. Ingram reminds us that empowering insights from the O1D process remind us that true artistic legacy is built on a foundation of sustained innovation and cultural resonance. This deep dive has truly celebrated that creative genius and hopefully offered a clearer path forward.
The stories we've shared, Sophia's cinematic visions, Jamal's sonic fusions, Elena's sculptural dialogues, Raj's performative depths, these are not just abstract case studies, they are your potentials. These are concrete examples of what's possible with the right approach and, yes, the right legal guidance. They show that regardless of your specific art form, your career stage, or the challenges you might face, the O1B visa is an attainable goal for those who demonstrate extraordinary ability and are prepared to meticulously document it. These aren't just success stories. They're blueprints for your own journey.
And to wrap up, beyond just obtaining the visa itself, what are some of the long-term benefits, the profound impacts that O1B holders often experience, according to our legal team's research? What's the bigger picture for their careers and lives in the U.S.?
That's a great final point. Our attorney's research emphasizes that O1B holders often find a direct and streamlined pathway to a green card via the EB1 category. This secures their long-term legacy and permanent residency in the U.S., offering unparalleled stability and freedom to continue their artistic pursuits without the constant concern of visa renewals.
The green card pathway, right?
Yeah.
Huge benefit.
Absolutely huge. Beyond that crucial long-term stability, the visa itself fosters invaluable networks within the vast U.S. entertainment and arts industries. It leads to unparalleled opportunities, lucrative gallery deals, major studio contracts, high-profile collaborations, teaching positions at prestigious institutions, things that might otherwise be inaccessible. It truly opens doors to a vast and dynamic market, expanding your artistic and professional horizons significantly.
For families.
For families, it means immersion in vibrant creative communities, enriching their lives alongside yours, providing unparalleled educational and cultural opportunities in a country that deeply values artistic expression. Our team advises you to start by conducting portfolio reviews annually. In our experience, successful clients treat this as an artistic reflection, a strategic exercise where they often uncover untapped strengths, previously overlooked achievements, and new opportunities for gathering evidence. As you reflect on these journeys, remember, the true power of the O1B isn't just a visa, it's a profound declaration of your unique value to the world. So as you continue to create, ask yourself, how are you not just making art, but strategically documenting your legacy? Because in today's interconnected world, your artistic influence might be far greater and far more documentable than you ever imagined. What will be the next groundbreaking stroke in your extraordinary story?
We really hope this deep dive has provided you with valuable insights and clear steps for your own O1B pursuit. Thank you so much for being with us today. We hope you gained a lot from this discussion. Please subscribe to or follow this channel as it can significantly increase the reach of this podcast and help us help more people. We'd greatly appreciate your support. Leave us a comment if you can. Also, follow us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, X, and Instagram, where we're growing rapidly thanks to our social media team. We would also like to thank attorney Chris Ingram and his dedicated team once again for researching and preparing this material for our presentation. If you, a friend or family member, would like a free consultation, you can visit our website at www.breakthroughusa.com and schedule an appointment. We'd love to hear from you and help you if we can. Bye for now.